Less than 10 minutes to SDSU, 20 minutes to the beaches, trolley access, and designated green space. All of this may sound too good to be true, but I promise you it's not. These are just some of the elements that make up one of San Diego's hidden gems, the neighborhoods of Allied Gardens and Del Cerro. And in this video, I'm going to attempt to break down these two sister neighborhoods for you, and hopefully provide you with enough information that you can feel confident walking away with this video, knowing what truly makes these neighborhoods special. But really quick, before we jump in, my name is Ryan Stuver. If you have any real estate needs or any questions about anything I talk about in this video, please feel free to contact me at the email below. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you may have. Now, let's go break down Allied Gardens and Del Cerro. So first things first, I want to start by clarifying exactly where Allied Gardens Del Cerro is. These two neighborhoods sit just on the eastern edge of what is considered central San Diego. Hidden in a small pocket just off the northern side of the 8 freeway, east of Mission Valley, southwest of San Carlos, south of Tirisana, and north of College area. This location allows you to easily access the I-8 freeway, making it very easy to visit places like Lake Murray, Snapdragon Stadium, the beaches, and downtown San Diego, giving you almost seamless access to all of the major sport and concert venues within the city of San Diego, while still giving you the ease and comfort of living in the suburbs. With this general understanding of where Allied Gardens Del Cerro is, I want to go a bit deeper and explore the sub-neighborhoods that each of these areas are made up of. And I also want to clarify that these neighborhoods do share the zip code of 92120, which is known as Allied Gardens Del Cerro. And looking at the 92120 zip code, we can see these neighborhoods essentially split at the trailhead of Navajo Canyon open space and follow along this trail until you reach Navajo Road. From this point, everything north of this line is considered Allied Gardens, and everything south is considered Del Cerro. And looking at Allied Gardens first, this neighborhood is made up of 4 sub-neighborhoods: Allied Gardens South, Allied Gardens Central, Lone Star, Laramie, Red River, and Allied Gardens East. While Del Cerro is made up of another 5 sub-neighborhoods: Levanto, Del Cerro Hearst, Princess Del Cerro Reservoir, and Del Cerro South. Now, with this general understanding of each neighborhood's layout, I want to quickly discuss what you should expect to pay if you want to purchase a home here. With Allied Gardens Del Cerro sharing the zip code of 92120, we're going to look at the median sales price in 2 different ways. First, we'll start by just breaking down the overall zip code in general, and then we'll dive deeper and break down both of these neighborhoods individually to see if there's any disparity in price. Starting first with the median sales price of a single-family detached home in 92120, we get a price that's 9% higher than the county median, sitting at $1,150,000, compared to the county median of $1,055,000. However, when I break these neighborhoods down individually, we do get a median sales price of $1,039,000 for Allied Gardens, which is actually 1.52% below the county median, while Del Cerro has a median sales price of $1,402,625, which is actually 32.95% higher than the county median. And this gives us a difference of $363,625 between these two neighborhoods. While attached condos and townhomes in the 92120 have a median sales price that's 4.02% below the county median, with 92120 sitting at $638,250, while the county median is $665,000. And continuing our quest to dive even deeper, we get a number that's 24.21% below the county median, with Allied Gardens having a median sales price of $504,000. While at the same time, Del Cerro is also surprisingly lower than the county median, sitting at 18.12% below, with a median sales price of $544,500, which gives us a difference in price between these two neighborhoods of $40,500. Breaking it down like this really allows us to see the difference between these two neighborhoods, giving us proper perspective beyond the blanketed median sales price for the zip code as a whole. And as we know now, if you're looking to purchase a home within the 92120 zip code, you should expect to pay slightly more than the county median, but your expectation of how much can certainly change if you get a little more specific. So that's going to cover the basics of home prices here. I now want to shift our focus over to the actual perks of the location of Allied Gardens Del Cerro. The first thing I want to focus on is something I'm sure the majority of you who are looking to move to the suburbs are concerned with, which is schools. And the primary public schools in the area are Marvin Elementary School, Hearst Elementary School, Lewis Middle School, and Patrick Henry High School. All of these schools have exceptional test score ratings according to greatschools.org, with Marvin Elementary having an overall rating of 6 out of 10, a student progress rating of 3 out of 10, but a test score rating of 10 out of 10. While Hearst Elementary School has an overall rating of 10 out of 10, a student progress rating of 10 out of 10, and a test score rating of 10 out of 10. While Lewis Middle has an overall rating of 7 out of 10, a student progress rating of 5 out of 10, and a test score rating of 9 out of 10. While finally Patrick Henry High School has an overall rating of 9 out of 10, a test score rating of 9 out of 10, and a college readiness rating of 9 out of 10. Along with great schools, Allied Gardens Del Cerro is also very closely located to Mission Trails Regional Park, which gives you very easy access to one of San Diego's largest designated green spaces. Spanning over 8,000 acres, Mission Trails is home to 24 designated hiking trails, most notable of which is Cowles Mountain Summit, which brings you to an elevation of 1,192 feet and gives you sweeping 360-degree views over San Diego. And being closely located to Mission Trails is cool and all, but what really separates these neighborhoods and makes them truly unique are the designated green spaces you can find within these neighborhoods that are put here for the locals to use and enjoy. And there are two smaller green spaces I want to highlight here, first of which is Rancho Mission Canyon, which is tucked away in the northeast corner of Allied Gardens in the neighborhood of Allied Gardens East. Rancho Mission Canyon spans roughly 258 acres, 19 of which make up Rancho Mission Canyon Park. But first I want to highlight the hiking trails here, and one in particular, which is Rancho Mission Canyon Open Space Trail. This trail has an out and back distance of roughly 2 to 4 miles depending on how you want to hike it. And this trail is typically considered to be moderate in difficulty by most, and is a great alternative to places like Mission Trails if you're looking for a simple, easy hike, since it's often overlooked by non-locals of the neighborhood. And included in this open space is of course Rancho Mission Canyon Park, which is found right in the middle of Rancho Mission Canyon. And with this park spanning roughly 19 acres, it is fairly extensive and is equipped with 2 separate large fields, perimeter walking paths, and a state-of-the-art playground, making this a great park for any families with young kids or a great place to take your 4-legged friends. The second designated green space I want to highlight is found in the southwest corner of Del Cerro in the neighborhood of Del Cerro Hearst, which is Navajo Canyon Open Space Park. There are a few routes you can take, but I'm just going to focus on Navajo Canyon Trail, which has an out and back distance of roughly 2.2 miles, and just like Rancho Mission Canyon Trail, this trail is also considered to be moderate in difficulty and typically doesn't tend to get too overly crowded, as it too often gets overlooked by non-locals. And as I've already mentioned in this video, by living in Allied Gardens Del Cerro, you get to have the best of both worlds when it comes to suburban and city living. And nothing emphasizes this point more than the proximity you have to the MTS Green Line Trolley. And there are 5 different Green Line Trolley stops you can drive to in just minutes. Starting first with the stops that are on the northern side of the I-8 freeway, you have Stadium, which is about 10 to 15 minutes away depending on your location, Mission San Diego Station, which is about 5 to 10 minutes away, and Grantville, which is about 4 to 8 minutes away. South of the 8 freeway, there are 2 more stops close by, which are the SDSU Transit Center, about another 6 to 11 minute drive, and the UC San Diego Health East Station, which is about 5 to 9 minutes away. And with the Green Line running from El Cajon to downtown San Diego, it does make some stops at some notable places, like the Gaslamp Quarter, Seaport Village, Little Italy, Old Town, Fashion Valley, Mission Valley, Snapdragon Stadium, and SDSU. So now that we've covered exactly where Allied Gardens Del Cerro is, what it costs to purchase a home here, and what the perks of the location are, I want to wrap this conversation up by discussing what you should expect daily life to be like if you live here. I don't think it makes any sense to go any further without first discussing what you should expect daily commutes to be like if you live here. One thing to be prepared for if you're not from San Diego or haven't spent any extended time here is some heavy traffic. But fortunately, unlike LA, the traffic patterns here tend to be fairly predictable, barring any kind of accident or unforeseen issue. So once you've learned the basic traffic patterns, you can typically gauge commute times with relative ease. In general, you should expect most freeways and highways headed westbound or northbound to be heavily congested in the morning, while in the afternoon, you should expect freeways and highways headed eastbound or southbound to be heavily congested. So if you have a daily commute headed west or north in the morning and east or south in the afternoon, you should be prepared for some heavy traffic. And with Allied Gardens Del Cerro being located in central San Diego, the freeways and highways you should become familiar with are the 8, 15, 805, 163, 52, and 125. And shifting our focus back to the neighborhood of Allied Gardens Del Cerro itself, there are a few main streets and roads that act as main thoroughfares that are worth becoming familiar with as well. The first street I want to highlight is Friars Road and Mission Gorge Road, which sits on the northern end of the neighborhood and transitions from Friars Road into Mission Gorge Road as you enter Grantville and head east into Allied Gardens. This street will take you to the majority of services and businesses close by in Grantville, while also stretching unbroken from Santee all the way to SeaWorld Drive down in Mission Bay, passing by places like Snapdragon Stadium, Fashion Valley, and Mission Valley. Waring Road is another important street to know, as it runs directly through the middle of the neighborhood, and just like Friars Road and Mission Gorge Road, Waring Road does transition into College Avenue at the intersection of Navajo Road. These streets act almost as a central artery throughout this neighborhood, as they connect at 2 separate points to the 8 freeway, while also acting as a direct through line to SDSU and the college area as a whole. Zion Avenue is another prominent street, which cuts west through Allied Gardens directly from Waring Road to Mission Gorge Road, connecting the Allied Gardens Shopping Center to all of the main services and businesses down in Grantville. The last road worth mentioning is Navajo Road. And in a very similar fashion to the way Waring Road and College Avenue connect Allied Gardens and Del Cerro to the college area, Navajo Road acts as a direct through line to the neighboring neighborhood of San Carlos. So with a basic understanding of the roads here, let's quickly talk about some of the stores, businesses, restaurants, and services you'll likely be using on a daily basis. For grocery stores, there are three main options in the immediate area. You have Vaughn's, Grocery Outlet Bargain Market, and Windmill Farms Community Market. There are a few coffee shops close by, like Better Buzz, Starbucks, Cup of Coffee Drive-Thru and Cup of Coffee Coffee Lab, Dark Horse Coffee Roasters, and S3 Coffee Bar. For fast food or some quick eats, there are plenty of good options, like In-N-Out, Panda Express, Carl's Jr., Jersey Mike's, Einstein Bagels, Wendy's, Gaglione Brothers, Jack in the Box, Sombrero Mexican Food, and McDonald's. There are also several good options for sit-down restaurants, like High Dumpling, Chamorro Grill, Brothers Giant Pizza, Faux Express, Himalayan Curry and Grill, San Diego Brewing, El Rodeo Taco Shop, Del Cerro Pizza and Beer, Rolando's Taco Shop, Rosati's Pizza and Sports Pub, and Citizen Brewing. So with all of this in mind, the question now remains, should you move here? It's obviously hard for me to say if you or anyone should move anywhere in particular, as there's obviously several factors involved, like budget, home needs, location, commute times, lifestyle, amongst 100 other things. But what I will say is that Allied Gardens Del Cerro does offer you something really unique within San Diego, as you do still truly get the suburban lifestyle while having access to the city and all the perks that come with it. So if you're looking for a home that's only slightly more expensive than the county median, in a quiet suburban neighborhood with great schools and access to open green space, while only being 15 minutes from downtown San Diego, I would highly suggest you consider Allied Gardens Del Cerro for your future move. And that's going to do it for this one. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Ryan Stuver. If you have any additional questions about anything I talked about in this video, the real estate market in general, or any of my team's current or upcoming listings, please feel free to contact me at the phone number or email below. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions you may have. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!